I'm not going to change the confidence that I have in myself ever, but at the same time, I have learned that there is a way that I can carry that so much more gracefully.
What if being yourself was the most dangerous thing you could do in your sport? What if your speed wasn't the problem? Your confidence was. For Sha'Carri Richardson, every stride came with judgment. Too loud, too bold, too different. But she ran anyway. From Dallas tracks to global stages, from heartbreak to headlines, she didn't just chase victories. She challenged what a champion is allowed to look like. This isn't just the story of one of the fastest women on earth. It's the story of defiance, resilience, and identity at full speed. So the real question is, how do you win without changing who you are? This is the life of Sha'Carri Richardson. Born on March 25, 2000, she grew up in a world that demanded toughness early. Life did not wait for her to be ready. She was raised largely by her grandmother, a constant presence who offered stability in circumstances shaped by absence and uncertainty. That foundation, firm, loving, but demanding, would quietly shape the competitor Sha'Carri would become. From the moment she discovered running, it felt less like a hobby and more like a release. Speed came naturally, but what set her apart was how she ran. Boldly, fiercely, as if refusing to be caught by anything behind her. Teachers and coaches noticed quickly. She wasn't simply faster than other kids. She was different. There was confidence in the way she moved, a defiance in her posture that suggested she already knew something about herself others hadn't fully seen yet. At Carter High School in Dallas, that difference could no longer be ignored. Sha'Carri dominated the track, winning state titles and shattering expectations. Each race seemed to widen the gap between her and the rest of the field. But it also revealed her personality, unapologetic, expressive, and unafraid of attention. She didn't try to blend in. She leaned into who she was. Bright hair, sharp nails, big emotions. She ran as herself, fully. But beneath the bravado was something deeper. Track wasn't just a stage for winning, it was a place where pain could be focused, where frustration could be burned away at full speed. Running gave her control when life felt unpredictable. With every race, she proved not only her talent, but her resolve. She was running toward opportunity, toward freedom, toward something bigger than Dallas. That momentum carried her to Louisiana State University, one of the most prestigious sprinting programs in the country. Leaving home meant leaving the protection of the person who had raised her, and it forced Sha'Carri to confront adulthood head-on. The competition was fiercer, the margins thinner, but she did not retreat. Instead, she rose. As a freshman, she captured the NCAA 100-meter title, announcing herself on a national stage, not as a surprise, but as an inevitability. Her early life did not promise ease. It demanded resilience. And long before medals or headlines, Sha'Carri Richardson learned how to turn adversity into acceleration. Every step forward was built on where she came from. A young girl in Dallas, running as if stopping had never been an option. Sha'Carri Richardson turned professional in 2019, and it felt less like an introduction than an announcement. The track world already knew her collegiate records at LSU, her fearless confidence. Turning pro simply gave her a bigger stage, and the world leaned in. From the beginning, she ran with urgency. Every race carried the same message. She wasn't waiting her turn. By 2021, Sha'Carri had become must-watch television. At the U.S. Olympic trials in Eugene, Oregon, she stormed through the 100 meters in 10.86 seconds, winning with her signature swagger and securing a spot at the Tokyo Olympics. Cameras followed her tears, her joy, her declaration, "I am that girl." Days later, her narrative shifted. A positive test for cannabis, used during a period of grief following the death of her biological mother, led to a suspension that stripped her of Olympic eligibility. In a sport decided by fractions of seconds, her dreams were stopped completely. No Tokyo, no Olympic debut. Only questions, judgment, and global scrutiny. What followed wasn't silence. It was struggle. Her return was uneven. Losses mounted. Critics grew louder. For the first time, the runner known for fearlessness appeared vulnerable. Searching, recalibrating, she missed the 2022 World Championships entirely, and many wondered if her moment had already passed. But the most dangerous athletes are the ones who learn from the fall. In 2023, Sha'Carri Richardson returned transformed. Her season opened with a statement. A wind aided 10.57 seconds at the Miramar Invitational, one of the fastest times ever recorded under any conditions. The message was unmistakable. She was back. That summer, the story culminated in Budapest at the World Athletics Championships. In a women's 100-meter final stacked with sprinting royalty, Shericka Jackson and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Richardson lined up in lane 9. She chased, she surged, and in the final meters, she took over. She crossed the line in 10.65 seconds, winning gold and setting a championship record, the fastest time by an American woman on a global stage. Arms raised, eyes wide, she declared, "I'm not back, I'm better." Days later, she added another gold as anchor of Team USA's 4x100-meter relay, sealing her place at the top of women's sprinting. Redemption complete. By 2024, Richardson entered the Olympic season no longer chasing validation. She was defending her crown. At the U.S. Olympic trials, she won the 100 meters again. In Paris, she delivered under the brightest lights, earning silver in the 100 meters and gold with the U.S. 4x100-meter relay team, her first Olympic medals. Off the track, her impact grew just as fast. Richardson became the face of a modern sprinting era. Unapologetic, expressive, culturally resonant. Major endorsement deals followed, including a landmark partnership with Nike, alongside campaigns with Beats, by Dre, Olay, and other global brands. Her influence expanded beyond sport into fashion, advocacy, and representation. Yet through every medal and marketing deal, Sha'Carri has remained consistent in one way. She runs as herself. No shrinking, no silence, no surrender. Her professional life is no longer a comeback story. It's a legacy in progress, built on everything she's survived, everything she's proven, and everything she still intends to become. Now let's get into the money talks. Sha'Carri Richardson did not get rich simply by running fast. In track and field, medals bring prestige, not millions. Competition earnings for even elite sprinters typically sit in the $45,000 to $55,000 per year range, with bonuses and appearance fees varying by season. By 2026, Richardson's wealth is widely estimated around $4 million, often cited between $3 to $5 million, placing her among the most financially successful women in modern sprinting. Even her Paris 2024 medals, silver, 100 meters, and gold, 4x100 meters, added roughly $72,500 in U.S. Olympic Committee bonuses. Meaningful, but not life-changing on their own. The difference came from brand power. Richardson became a cultural figure as much as a champion, expressive, unapologetic, and visible, qualities that drew top-tier sponsors. Her most prominent partnership is with Nike. Multiple outlets report a long-term endorsement valued around $20 million over 5 years. Though Nike has not publicly confirmed this figure, treat the number as reported, not official. Beyond Nike, she expanded into a diversified portfolio. Beats by Dre, Olay, Sprite, Android/Google ecosystem campaigns, and other lifestyle and apparel collaborations. Evidence that brands see her reach far beyond the track. That is the core of her wealth story. Prize money is symbolic. Endorsements are decisive. By turning relevance and authenticity into market demand, Richardson built a multi-million-dollar net worth in a sport that rarely produces them. Sha'Carri Richardson's wealth didn't send her chasing spectacle. It sent her searching for stability. After the endorsements came in and her net worth climbed into the millions, she didn't announce success with excess. No sprawling compounds, no gated estates meant to impress strangers. When it came time to spend her money, Sha'Carri made a choice that reflected how she lives and how she runs, with intention. In 2022, she purchased a 4-bedroom home in Claremont, Florida, for approximately $580,000. In a celebrity world defined by extravagance, the number feels almost modest, and that's exactly the point. The house wasn't bought to flex wealth. It was bought to support performance. Claremont sits at the center of elite American sprint training, surrounded by world-class tracks, top-level coaching, and year-round warm weather. Spending just over $500,000 there wasn't about luxury. It was about proximity, about cutting distractions down to zero. The home spans just under 2,500 square feet, large enough to breathe and quiet enough to disappear into. Its centerpiece isn't a dramatic entryway or designer finishes, but a glass-enclosed pool and spa in the backyard, a private space for recovery, reset, and healing after the kind of work few people ever see. This is how Sha'Carri Richardson spends her money: on rest, not noise; on function, not flash. She rarely shares the house publicly. There are no curated tours, no lifestyle glimpses designed to perform. The privacy itself is part of the investment. What she protects most isn't the property value, it's the peace it provides. And even with a Florida home secured, Dallas, Texas still holds her. Dallas is where she was raised, where her foundation was built, where the girl who would become a world champion learned to run with urgency. There may be no high-profile real estate purchase there, but her connection to the city is permanent. The track where she once trained now carries her name, a reminder that success didn't erase her roots. It honored them. Together, these places tell the real story. Sha'Carri Richardson didn't use her money to reinvent herself. She used it to protect who she already is. A $580,000 home in Florida to sharpen the present. A lifelong bond to Dallas to anchor the past. Her spending reflects the same philosophy as her racing: precision, control, and purpose. Every dollar placed where it matters most. She didn't buy homes to prove she made it. She bought them to make sure she could keep going. Now, this is where her story gets more interesting, because her relationship with cars mirrors her relationship with wealth itself: practical, private, and purposeful. For someone whose life is built on speed, it would be easy to imagine a garage full of spectacle. But Sha'Carri has never been interested in performing success off the track. What she drives is about movement, not display. Very little is known publicly, and that's by design. She keeps her vehicles largely out of view, rarely posting them or turning them into part of her image. In a culture where cars often become extensions of personal branding, that restraint is deliberate. The car isn't the flex. The freedom it provides is. Her choices point toward reliability and comfort, vehicles that fit into the rhythm of training, travel, and recovery, rather than photo shoots. Cars that move her from home to the track, from airport to hotel, without demanding attention. Vehicles that disappear once the door closes. That discretion aligns with how she spends elsewhere. Just as her home prioritizes recovery over spectacle, her transportation prioritizes control of time, access, and visibility. For Sha'Carri, a car isn't a trophy. It's a tool. It carries her through early mornings, late nights, and long drives between training grounds and competitions, through moments when the world is loud and the only thing she needs is quiet forward motion. Her vehicles don't announce her arrival. They protect it, giving her the ability to move through a public life without turning every moment into performance. No spectacle, no distraction, just function, privacy, and autonomy. Because she doesn't need her car to say who she is. She already knows. Unlike many athletes who show off branded items and turn luxury into a constant online display, Sha'Carri Richardson does luxury completely differently. She doesn't announce it, she embodies it. Her version of luxury begins with style. She treats fashion the way she treats sprinting, as self-expression. Bold nails, vivid hair, sculpted lashes, custom race fits. Each choice is deliberate. Luxury, for her, isn't about blending in. It's about redefining what belongs in elite spaces. Whether on the track, a red carpet, or a campaign, she moves with the confidence of someone who knows she deserves visibility. But her luxury goes deeper than appearance. It shows up in time. Time to recover. Time to say no. Time to protect her boundaries. For an athlete built on fractions of a second, real wealth is the freedom to slow life down. Private training environments, controlled schedules, recovery routines that prioritize longevity. In her world, rest isn't a weakness, it's premium care. Travel becomes a quieter form of luxury. She moves globally now with purpose, not urgency. International meets, fashion capitals, brand shoots. She no longer travels as a hopeful, but as a fixture. Comfort replaces chaos. Preparation replaces pressure. Then there's representation, an often overlooked luxury. Sha'Carri occupies spaces that once erased women like her, existing unapologetically in rooms that demanded silence or conformity. Here, luxury isn't material. It's access without compromise. She doesn't dilute herself to fit a market. The market adjusts. Her collaborations reflect that power. She aligns with brands that amplify her voice rather than reshape it, choosing partnerships that allow her to be fully visible, emotion, edge, femininity, defiance intact. And perhaps her most personal luxury is self-definition. Sha'Carri Richardson isn't rushed by trends or expectations. She doesn't need to announce every indulgence or document every moment. Her indulgence is autonomy, deciding how much of herself the world gets, and when. This is luxury without noise, without approval, without apology. It's curated peace, custom-fit confidence, and the freedom to be intense, expressive, vulnerable, and powerful, all at once. Her luxury isn't about what she owns, it's about what she controls. Her image, her energy, her narrative. And in a world that once tried to tell her who she should be, that may be the rarest luxury of all. Just like her luxury is private, so is her personal life. Sha'Carri Richardson keeps the spotlight on the track and off her relationships. As of 2025 to 2026, she is not married, and there's no verified record of a husband or engagement. Despite constant speculation, that silence isn't accidental. It's a boundary. In a culture that rewards oversharing, especially from women, her restraint reads as confidence, not secrecy. She's acknowledged past relationships on her own terms, spoken openly about her bisexual identity, and still refused to turn her private life into a performance. No timelines, no teases, no spectacle. She's been publicly linked to fellow sprinter Christian Coleman, fueled by shared appearances and mutual support. But visibility isn't a vow. No marriage, no announcements. Whatever changes exist happen privately, not performatively. What defines her isn't who she dates. It's how she defines commitment. Shaped by loss and pressure early, she treats milestones like her craft. Only when it's real, ready, and right. At the height of her career, world titles, Olympic medals, global visibility, she chooses stability over ceremony and growth over declarations. If marriage enters her story, it will be quiet, intentional, and on her terms. For now, she remains unmarried, grounded in independence, and unapologetic about protecting what matters most. Before any ring or vow, the relationship she's built and guarded is the one with herself. We all know controversy tends to follow celebrities. Fame attracts headlines, and headlines often chase trouble. Sha'Carri Richardson is no exception. But what separates her is what she does after the noise. Her rise has never been quiet, and neither has the scrutiny. In 2021, just days after winning the U.S. Olympic trials, Richardson tested positive for THC and received a 30-day suspension that kept her out of the Tokyo Olympics. She didn't deny it or fight it. She explained why, saying she used marijuana while grieving her mother's death, and accepted responsibility. The world argued over the rules. she moved forward. The setback reshaped her career, but didn't end it. After uneven seasons and relentless criticism, Richardson answered in 2023, winning World Championship gold in the 100 meters and reclaiming her place at the top. Then the controversy left the track. In 2025, she was arrested after a public altercation with fellow sprinter Christian Coleman at a Seattle airport. Richardson apologized publicly, acknowledged fault, and said she was holding herself accountable. Coleman declined to press charges. In January 2026, another headline followed: an arrest in Florida for excessive speeding, accused of driving over 100 miles per hour. She posted bond and was released. Through every moment, her response has stayed the same. Own it, learn from it, get back to work. And the work keeps speaking. Olympic gold and silver in Paris, 2024 world titles. And finishes fast enough to remind everyone why she's watched so closely. Sha'Carri Richardson's story isn't really about controversy. It's about resilience under pressure. Not every champion walks a clean path. Some run straight through the fire, and she keeps running anyway. And when the lights dim, when the cheers fade, and the world stops watching her run, what remains isn't excess, it's intention. Sha'Carri Richardson's luxury was never about shouting success. It was about choosing how to live once success arrived. Choosing peace over noise, control over chaos, expression over approval. Her version of luxury lives in the details. Style worn with purpose, time guarded fiercely, rest treated like a necessity, not a weakness. In a culture that demands constant access, she mastered the power of selective visibility. And here's the real takeaway for anyone watching. Luxury isn't always what you buy. Sometimes it's what you protect: your time, your energy, your boundaries, your sense of self. Sha'Carri shows us that success doesn't have to be loud to be real, and that confidence doesn't need permission to exist. So as she keeps moving, on the track and beyond it, she leaves behind a lesson that matters just as much as speed. You don't owe the world a performance. You owe yourself alignment. If you enjoyed this deeper look into Sha'Carri Richardson's luxury life beyond the headlines, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. And drop a comment below. What does luxury mean to you? We'll see you in the next one.